Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. And I have to say I'm in a very unfamiliar situation. I don't really know what to say, and that is extremely not like me on this channel. I really don't know where to start. I'm going to try to analyse what we have just watched. But before I do start on this, guys, I want to make two apologies, all of them to you, because number one, I am sorry that you had to sit through 90 minutes of that performance, because that was not Barcelona. That is not anything at all that we associate with Barcelona. It was excruciating to watch. It was painful to endure, and I'm really, really sorry that you guys had to sit through that as Barcelona fans. And the second thing I would apologise for is coming into this game, I genuinely thought we were on our way to the semi-finals, and I was wrong, because I actually assumed that we would be able to come into this game against Italy's fourth best team and manage to avoid a 3-0 defeat. I, though, was wrong, because somehow tonight we have managed to go to Rome and to absolutely collapse with no bravery, no ambition, and it was absolutely catastrophic from the coach to the players to the tactics, of which there were absolutely none. And then in terms of changing the game and trying to get ourselves back into it, that was non-existent too. We let ourselves get beat tonight. You can have absolutely no complaints about the result. Roma tonight were outstanding. Their fans were magnificent. They got behind their team, they got them going, they got them over the line. The players were fantastic, their coach was brave, he set themselves out, they went with 3 at the back, and they said, we're going to go out and we're going to try and do the impossible. And they did it tonight. They deserved their victory, and we were absolutely appalling. Barcelona crashing out of the Champions League, and I cannot believe it. I am speechless. I am unbelievably embarrassed about that, losing to Roma, and not only losing, if this is one game, you write it off, you say that was a bad performance, that was a bad result, we'll move on from that. But this has been coming. We have not been a Barcelona team playing like Barcelona, acting like Barcelona for a long, long time. When you start planning your lineups around the opposition as a Barcelona coach, you've got a big problem. You cannot do that. You cannot start basing everything around other teams. We are Barcelona. We go out onto the field, we have a set game plan, we have a set mentality, and then we make the other team react. We make the other team think, how are we going to counteract this? Instead, tonight, we went out there, we had 2 banks of 4, and we just sat inside of our own half, thinking, what are Roma going to do? Whatever they're going to try and do, we're going to try and stop them. That was our mentality. A Barcelona team going to an away Champions League quarter-final and sitting in our own half, waiting for Roma to come on to us, to attack, to score the first goal, to score the second goal. And then you're thinking, in the second half, maybe they'll come out, maybe Barcelona will have some sort of ambition, maybe they'll have a bit of drive. But nothing in those players today showed me that, one, they had any belief in what the coach was telling them to do. There was absolutely nothing in there which inspired me. They did not look like a group of players who were fighting for every ball. They did not look like a group of players who wanted to do everything in their power to win that. You can say whatever you like about Luis Enrique, whatever you like about the tactics of Luis Enrique, but you think back to that PSG comeback last season, you had every single player on that pitch fighting till the last whistle. They wanted that more than anything in the world, and they're the same group of players in this game. Tonight we were lifeless, we were soulless, we were absolutely shambolic from the first minute to the 90th minute. And that's the other thing, it wasn't just a bad spell in the game. We didn't just have a bad 10 minutes, a bad period in the game where we could have got better. It was a full game of absolute nonsense. We were shocking. It was so bad. I cannot even put it into words. Looking at this game, I have never ever experienced a Barcelona game as bad as this one. We've had Tata Martino, where it was an absolute disaster at times, but still, you had that performance that looked a little bit like Barcelona. If you switched the shirts around tonight, you would not know the difference. We played like a Roma team. We went there, we sat, we had a small team mentality, and we were waiting. We were effectively waiting to get beat. And the thing about Valverde is, he gets his lineup wrong. He doesn't put Dembele in there. He doesn't put any ambition coalition at all in that lineup. Just like the home leg. We heard that in the home leg, he plays Semedo and he plays Roberto because he's scared of what Roma can do on their left-hand side. You are scared of Alexander Kolarov and Perotti. What are you doing? And in this leg, we were bullied, absolutely bullied, by Edin Dzeko. Imagine what we could do if we come up against better strikers than that. It is ridiculous tonight that we've been played off the park by a team that aren't a world-class team. Roma tonight looked outstanding, but they're not. Just a few days ago, they were beaten at home in the same stadium, the same group of players, against Fiorentina by 2-0. Juventus, who Real Madrid went away to Juventus and absolutely obliterated 3-0. In that game, Zidane went for it. He played attacking players. They had the Real Madrid mentality, which they always do in the Champions League. I absolutely hate Real Madrid, but they go out there and they say, we're Real Madrid, we're going to win the game. That's all there is to it. And you can say Zidane has no tactics, but we had no tactics tonight either. We had no tactics, and we also didn't play like Barcelona. We defended. That's not Barcelona. We made Roma believe that a comeback was possible. If we'd have went out there tonight like we finished the game, like we actually wanted to score a goal, we might have actually got somewhere, because then Roma will be thinking, every time we go forward, we've got a problem going the other way. We've got Dembele getting in behind us. We've got Barcelona who are trying to counter-attack. Tonight, Roma had the licence to keep putting balls in the box, to keep going forward at their own will, because they knew there was no threat at all going the other way. Suarez wasn't in the game. Lionel Messi wasn't in the game. Messi was actually most of the time in his own half having to defend. That's as far as the tactics went. And like I say, there was absolutely no emphasis on Valverde to change any of this. We're 2-0 down, about to go out of the Champions League if Roma get one goal, and he is standing on the touchline watching Roma make their own changes. They brought on El Shaarawy. They brought on other substitutes. Under came on. He was watching them make their changes, and he was just standing there himself thinking, go on then, continue making your changes, continue going forward, and nothing at all changed. It was like Valverde was standing there, stunned himself, like we all were, sitting at home thinking, what on earth is going on? It took him until the 80th minute mark to make his first change, Andre Gomez, and the problem doesn't start here. Make no mistake about that. This is not just one bad game. I have been coming here now week upon week upon week, and a lot of you guys have been with me, and fair play to all of you guys who've been coming here and saying things are going well in the results, but in the performances there are some serious questions. A lot of people would say you've been moaning, but a lot of the time the performances have not been a Barcelona quality. We have not rotated enough. You look at those players out on the pitch tonight, and how many of them were walking wounded? You've got Gerard Piqué, is he 100% fit? You've got Sergio Busquets, who we know for a fact is not 100% fit. He had to play with something inside his boot tonight to protect his toe injury. You've got Lionel Messi, is he fully fit? He can't sit out a game because we are so reliant on Lionel Messi that when he doesn't actually score in a game, we often lose or draw. Simple as that. And there's often players on that pitch as well who are exhausted. Players like Sergio Roberto, Ivan Rakitic was shattered, Luis Suarez is absolutely exhausted right now. Players who are over 30 years old and are seriously fatigued because we've not rotated this season. All season long, the cracks have been appearing, and we're going to win the league, there's no doubt about that, and it's been a fantastic league season results-wise. But in terms of performance tonight, we have been well and truly exposed. Too many times this season, we have set ourselves up with a small team mentality. I don't know whether it's because Valverde has come from Athletic Club, so maybe he has been instilled with this underdog mentality, but now you're at Barcelona, now you're in the big league, now the emphasis is on you to go out there and force opponents into making changes. We are not the reactive ones. We are not the ones who should be calling into a shell and thinking, what's going to happen next? We shouldn't be in that position. It was 2-0 to Roma, and that's when I knew this wasn't a Barcelona team, because we all knew that third goal was going. And I'll go back to Luis Enrique, who, like I say, a lot of people criticise, a club legend as a player and as a coach as well. People say with him, it was end-to-end football. We never had control, which is absolutely fair enough. No problem at all with that, but at least it was end-to-end. Tonight, it was in one end, and that was our end. In our own box, against Roma, getting bullied by Edin Dzeko, and it was an absolute disgrace of a performance. And like I say, if it was one game, you'd write it off and you'd move on. But the very fact of the matter is, we have been absolutely humiliated tonight by a team that aren't even world class. I said it on Twitter, if Real Madrid draw Roma in the next round, I would not be a bit surprised to see Real Madrid go to this Roma team and absolutely take them apart, reach the final, and who knows now, we're not in the competition, so Real Madrid could well go on and win their third successive Champions League title. But it's not about that for me. It's about having that pride, having that belief in what we do at Barcelona. There is a reason why our logo and our slogan at the club is Més que un club, more than a club. It is not something that is there just for commercial purposes. We genuinely are more than a club. We have values, we have a philosophy, we have a belief about the game should be played, and tonight it wasn't Barcelona. For a lot of this season, it has not been Barcelona. It has been defensive, it has been cautious, and that, sadly, is not the Barcelona way. It might get you results, but there will always come a time where it will come back to haunt you. Tonight, like I say, Roma exposed us. We were there for everybody to see, for everybody to laugh at. You look at our comeback against PSG now. When are we going to be able to mention that again? Every time you mention now that remontada, you'll get it thrown back in your face that we completely bottled it against Roma. That's what we've done, and we find ourselves eliminated from the Champions League. I am absolutely devastated. Whether these words will come back to haunt me, I have no idea. Obviously, straight after the match, guys, I'm talking here very raw emotions. I've not had time to think about a lot of things. I've not had time to watch anything back. But as you can imagine, I am absolutely soul crushed by what we've watched tonight. I'll apologise again for you guys having to experience that. It was horrific. It was horrible. And I am absolutely gutted to the core tonight to see Barcelona crash out of the Champions League when it shouldn't have happened. That should never, ever have been allowed to take place. But unfortunately, that's exactly what's happened tonight. And I'm so sorry that it has. Leave your thoughts down below, guys. I want to know your opinions. What do you think of tonight? What do you think of Valverde's approach? What do you think of the subs? He brings on Dembele with a few minutes to go. If you're going to play him in the first leg. Play him in the second leg. Start him in the game. Bring him on at the start of the second half. Don't bring him on when you've got a few minutes to go and you desperately need a goal. That doesn't show confidence in a player. That doesn't fill anybody with much belief. Ridiculous for me. Leave your thoughts down below. I will have a player ratings video where, to be honest, I'm going to struggle to get above 3s all around the board. I will see you then, guys. I am so sorry and so gutted. Vesca, El Barça.